So I'm out with some of our volunteers today collecting signatures at the Boston Marathon in Newton and Brookline up here at Heartbreak Hill. Great time. And I don't want to use this to campaign because the Boston Marathon is an important event. It shouldn't really be made political. But it also is really deep and connected to my story and one of the reasons I decided to run. I can tell you vividly because I remember exactly where I was in 2013 when the Boston Marathon bombing happened. I was a senior in high school at the time and I was working a shift at Michael's, of all places, in Bellingham. And I vividly remember what happened. There was a really big lull in the store. There weren't a lot of people coming in. It might have just been a slow day, it might have been because of the marathon. But I vividly remember standing at the cash register. There wasn't really a whole lot going on. I had only just gotten a smartphone like the year before. So I was still kind of getting used to it. And I remember getting the notification from my news app that there was a bombing that had taken place. And that was a moment for me that was very much a, oh God, is this another 9/11? Because I remember 9/11 happening. It is also one of my core memories. I was in first grade. I had just started with a new teacher like a week, 2 weeks before. I remember watching it live on television. It was terrifying. It was awful. But the reason I share this story, when I saw this happen, both times, 9/11 and the Boston Marathon, I was scared. But what I remember seeing that gave me hope was how people came together in New York City after 9/11, but after the Boston Marathon. And I remember hearing the stories of the people who would finish running the race and then would run straight to the nearest hospital to donate blood. And being able to see that sort of togetherness, to come together and help each other in our times of suffering, that is, to me, what America really is. I think about the 6 people who had died, especially the little kid, and it breaks my heart, and it's terrible. But I also see the hope that we have coming together after that. And it just gives me hope for the future, because if we can come together to help ourselves in times like that, then we can work together to effect any change that we envision for this country. And it gives me hope.